Arsenal London, the team currently sitting in first place in the Premiership, are coming to the Den to face us. And honestly, it really wasn't a good time, as we're kind of struggling right now, not in the best of forms, and also we had to put up a slightly weaker side than usual. And just look at Arsenal with 66 points at the top. How are we gonna win this game? I don't know, but as you can see, Jetty has to play right back because Ekpoguma has to play at CDM, because obviously June Weigel is injured and Dele Alli couldn't play because of fatigue. So coming into this game, I honestly have to say I was not very confident at all, but we would enjoy a pretty nice start as we get the first chance of the game with Danny Ings here after a nice pass by Ekpoguma. However, Chesney was able to make the save there. And now Roberts passes it to Danny Ings, who puts a nice ball through to Chifchi. However, his sliding shot was saved by Chesney yet again. However, as Arsenal had to clear it out, we get a nice chance here from the throw-in as Roberts passes it to Zalalem, who passes it to Nadia Chifchi, and a beautiful shot hit the post there, and Danny Ings unfortunately couldn't score on the rebound. And now it's Zalalem with the ball, and just a beautiful little pass to Nadia Chifchi, and it is 1-0 to us, very deserved. The first half an hour was completely ours. We were all over them. Arsenal did not have a single shot on target yet, and luckily we managed to find the back of the net here with Nadia Chifchi, who I think just scored his 13th goal on the season, which is pretty nice considering he's not really a first team striker for me. But Ajeti whips a nice ball in, and not even 30 minutes in, we are now up 2-0 against Arsenal, who have pretty much looked helpless so far against us, and we pretty much played our game defensively. We did not let anything through, and it was just a very nice cross and a beautiful header by Nadia Chifchi. Just before halftime, Arsenal would actually get their first chance of the game as the ball comes to Oxlade-Chamberlain, who passed it to Aaron Ramsey, who lays it off for Alexis Sanchez, but his shot goes wide. And yet again we get a nice chance here from a throw-in. Again, it's a header by Nadia Chifchi, but his header goes wide. And the game in the second half would be pretty much that actually. Arsenal, with only the second chance of the game there, couldn't score, and it pretty much was a win that was not in danger at all. Those two shots by Arsenal were the only ones we have allowed, and defensively we've been in great form actually the last couple of games. Ever since the Schalke game, which was almost a month ago, we have not conceded a single goal. It's a 2-0 victory, as you can see by the stats. Really, Arsenal, I have no idea how a first place team could play so terribly. Only 2 shots in the whole 90 minutes, and none of them were on target. It was a really poor performance by them. We benefited from that, and we got 3 points against the best team in the Premiership right now. And right here, I just wanted to show you that I was indeed playing on Legendary, because I couldn't really believe it myself, actually, as I obviously have no cuts here. And actually, what I did before the game was I did a press conference and I motivated my team. Before the Arsenal game, I did that too, and apparently it helped against Arsenal, so maybe it's gonna help here against Man City in a return to Wembley Stadium here in the FA Cup semi-final. I actually almost forgot to do it, so that's why it takes some time, as we now get over to Office and now settings, and as you can see, Legendary 5 minutes. Nothing has changed here. So yeah, anyways, just a little bit of confirmation there. But yeah, we take on Man City here in the FA Cup semi-final on neutral ground, obviously at Wembley Stadium. Our first time back at Wembley Stadium since the Championship playoffs, obviously the promotion playoffs, where we've won here at Wembley Stadium against West Brom in penalties. One of my favorite episodes to make, really, because it was just such a dramatic game. I don't know if you remember that, or if you have been subscribed since then, but it is a pretty good episode actually. But yeah, obviously we take on Man City here with a pretty strong side, I must say. However, without Zalalem and Patrick Roberts, and also without Danny Ings, they were all out due to fitness, because obviously this game was only a couple days after the Arsenal game. And just look at Man City's side. I don't think it was the strongest they could have had. Eden Hazard was on the bench, Negredo and I'm not sure who that other guy is, were the strikers, but they got off to a pretty good start with Zuccellini there for a beautiful strike, and Zuccellini is a very good player, I must say. And right here you're gonna see it, just look at that. half volley first touch by Cicilline, and it's 1-0 to Man City. A very unfortunate goal to concede, as it is from a corner, and I think it was Company who headed it down and straight to Cicilline. Not much I could do there, really. Just I don't know how I could have defended that. To be honest, Cicilline was just, nobody was with him, and obviously with a nice half volley he's gonna make that, as he is indeed a very good player in my opinion. So it was a pretty terrible start to the game for us, as not even 15 minutes in we found ourselves down 1-0. However, in the 22nd minute here we get our first chance with Charlie Jacobo, whose shot gets blocked by Zabaleta and unfortunately goes just wide. And now here in the 26th minute it's Vergos, that was the other striker next to Negredo, plays it to Negredo, but he couldn't finish there with his weaker right foot. And now again a big chance for Alvaro Negredo, kind of looks like in real life, to be honest, at least as long as he plays for Man City. He does tend to miss those chances, and there again he misses wide. So we were actually pretty lucky to be only down 1-0. However, in the last kind of 20 minutes we picked ourselves up again, as Gerhard here hits the post. Unfortunately, that was pretty much the best chance we've had in the whole game. Man City were defending very well. In the second half we did gain some ground, you know, in terms of possession. But in the last 20 minutes, Man City, as you can see, they were just time wasting and parking the bus. And it was very hard to get through the defense, as they have Company and I think Rekik back there, two very good centre backs, and also Yaya Toure obviously. And Cicilline, the man of the match, with the goal. A nice half volley from a corner, and we are out of the FA Cup. Very unfortunate. I kind of hoped we could make it actually to the final, which would have been great. We would have had European football secured then, because as you could see earlier there was only, I think, Liverpool and Arsenal left, and I think both of them are sure to be in European competition for next season. As yeah, we are out there. Actually, it's not even determined yet who's gonna play in the final against Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. We do get £760,000 as prize money for progressing in the FA Cup all the way until the semi-final, which is some decent money, you know, considering we still have to, you know, sign some players to longer contracts because they want some more money. And now we do take on Swansea City after Uruguay actually offered us a job, as that is going to be our last game of the episode here at Liberty Stadium, traveling to Wales, as right now we're in 6th place with a game in hand on Man City and also with a better goal difference. So technically we are in 5th place right now, which would obviously mean Europa League. But since we were qualified for the Champions League this season and actually made it to the round of 16, being first in a group, I want to get back to the Champions League obviously, because otherwise this season would be the first season we didn't make progress, but we made regress, as last season we finished in 3rd place, and now a 5th place finish looks a lot more likely right now, because we were just so inconsistent over this whole season. You know, we get a good win and then just a terrible loss and then a draw. That's pretty much been the way how these episodes went so far, and that's where we find ourselves in 6th place. By the way, here we are into Swansea right now, and they get a penalty right here. I haven't even touched the ball yet so far. It was straight from kick off that attack. I just couldn't get the ball out. It was so unfortunate. I get the ball with Stones there. I had my index finger obviously on the sprint button. So he had the ball there. He was sprinting. Michu takes the ball, and John Stones runs right into Michu, and he falls. And obviously it's going to be a penalty here in the 10th minute. So obviously I didn't press any tackle button or anything. It was very unfortunate. Here's Gylfi Sigurdsson, who hits the post, hits the other post too, and we clear it out. So with a lot of luck, we are not down yet, here, only 10 minutes in, but still we have not had the ball yet. And now it's Nathan Dyer who plays it to Ki Sung-young. It is played right into John Stones' feet, and again, unfortunately, I was just pressing sprint right at that moment, and he lost the ball to Ki Sung-young. He passed it over to Gylfi Sigurdsson, and with a ridiculous shot, he makes it 1-0 to Swansea here in the 12th minute. And it was just, again, a very unfortunate situation, just like with the penalty right there. And again, it's John Stones losing the ball, and as we can see in the replay right now, or in just a second, okay, there it is. He just runs right into Ki Sung-young, John Stones does, and then it's just a simple pass over, and Sigurdsson hits that one perfectly to the top left corner. No chance for Paul Nardi at all. And it's just a very unfortunate way to concede, really, because we haven't had the ball so far. and it was actually very frustrating because whenever we cleared it, they got it back, and we got first chance with Danny Ings here. However, now it's Hydero, passed it over to Jordan Ibe, a beautiful cross inside, and Danny Ings doesn't even have to jump for this header, as he makes it 1-0 here in the 39th minute, and that was just one of my favorite crosses so far in this career mode. I don't know what it is, but he just finds Danny Ings' head. He barely has to move for that one, and he also doesn't have to jump, and Danny Ings is a very dangerous heading threat, which is kind of weird because he's not the tallest, but also in real life I think he's the player with the most headed goals in the top European leagues, and that goal right there was just ridiculous. Now I've got to tell you, the 2 games before I've played pre-patch, and I think after the patch it kind of feels like the goalkeepers got a little bit more retarded. You're gonna see next episode again an occasion like that, but just look at that. What the hell is the goalkeeper doing? Sivkovic with a bad touch there, and he just slides over the ball and is rolling in. I mean, I have never seen anything like that in FIFA 15 so far, and only right now after the patch. I mean, goalkeepers were never really good to start with, but since the patch they seem a bit worse actually. And just look at that beautiful individual skill by Nadia Chifchi with the Berber spin here, and all that was left to do was to find the back of the net, which unfortunately he couldn't, or else this might have been one of the most beautiful goals so far in this career mode. I mean, he started the run at like the halfway line, something around that. He went past 3 players with skill moves, and unfortunately he couldn't finish, and Nadi now with the nice saves holds on to this 2-1 lead as Chifchi gets put through by Hydera there. A nice shot fake to cut inside, and surely he's gonna score. Well, no, he's not gonna score here. He's not gonna score his 15th goal on the season, even though he really should have, but in the end it didn't really matter as we took the 3 points from Swansea, and it is a 2-1 victory, which in the second half wasn't in that much danger really, as Swansea only had the 2 chances I've shown you. But anyways, next episode you're gonna see first game is gonna be against Fulham, then against Man United, as we only have 5 games left in this season, which is just crazy. So the race for a top 4 finish is going to continue next time. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe for more MILLWALL and support the series. Till the next time, see you guys then. Goodbye.